there are 7 greetings cards, each of a different color, and 7 envelopes of same 7 colors as that of the cards. The number of ways in which the cards can be put in envelopes, so that exactly 4 out of the cards go into envelopes of respective color is. There are 4 options. It came in joint entrance 2019. So out of 7 greetings card, 4 will go into right envelopes. So there are 1 possible case, and 3 greetings card will go into wrong envelopes. So there are total possible cases E1, E2, E3, C1, C2, C3. So it is wrong because it is going into the correct envelopes. Cut C1, C2, C3 and envelopes E1, E2, E3. So E1, C1 is going into E1, C2 is going into E3, E2, C3 is going into E3. So wrong. E1, E2, E3, C1, C3, C2. So C1, E1. C1 is going into E1. So it is also wrong. 3 cards will go into wrong envelope. Not any of them will go into correct envelope. E1, E2, E3, C2, C1, C3, C3 into E3, also wrong. E1, E2, E3, C2, C3, C1, it is correct. C2 is E1, C3 is E2 and C1 is E3. It is going into wrong envelopes. Cards are going into. So it is correct. E1, E2, E3, C3, C1, C2. C3 is going into E1, C1 is going into E2, C2 is going into E3. It is also correct. E1, E2, E3, C3, C2, C1. C3 is going into E1. It is correct. C2 is going into E2. It is wrong. So it is wrong because C2 is going into E2. All will go into wrong envelope. So this case is wrong. So 7 greetings card, 3 will go into wrong envelopes. So 7C3. And how many possible cases are correct? They will go into wrong envelopes? 2. So 7C3 into 2. So option B, 2 into 7C3 is the correct answer.